Okay, this lesson is on a technique called counter rotation and slip and slide. You see, I have them up here. I put them together: counter rotation, slip and slide. And the reason why I have this double arrow is because counter rotation causes slip and slip and slide causes counter rotation. So they're mutually creating or reinforcing or whatever. All right, so slip and slide. What it is you slip your inside ski forward and you slide your outside ski back in a turn. Now, if you're making a left turn, your left foot is your inside foot, your right foot is your outside foot. So here's an example. All right, so you're making a left turn here. All right, you slip your inside ski forward and you slide your outside ski back. So the blue lines represent skis, right? And the advantage of this slip and slide is it allows you to rail turns, to knife turns, slice through them, carve nicely, with far less energy loss than the old school skidded turn, pivot turn. All right, so the alternative of doing slip and slide is doing the 2 foot method. Instead of having your feet slid one forward, one back, inside forward, outside back, right? You're going feet side by side. That's a 2 foot method. This leads to many problems, which we'll discuss down here. All right. So once again, if you're making a left turn, you slip your left foot forward, slide your right foot back. All right. That draws the skis closer together. You see how far apart these are? These are close together. All right. It allows them to be close together. If you have boot to boot, well, one boot's going to get in the way of the other, and you can't get that onto the snow. Typically, you can't get the outside boot on the snow. Now, if you do a left turn with left slip and slide, your body's going to be rotated to the outside of the turn. This is the inside of the turn. This is the outside. So as you're turning to the left, your body's facing more to the right. So if this is the 12 o'clock position, then this is the 2 o'clock position. All right, so on a left turn, your body faces the 2 o'clock. In a right turn, your body faces the 10 o'clock. Okay, so counter rotation goes with slip and slide. Right, if you do the slip and slide, you naturally counter rotate. If you counter rotate, you naturally do slip and slide. All right, so let's talk about how do you generate slip and slide. All right. Well, the first way is real simple. You just do it. You just slide it inside ski forward, and slide it outside ski back. All right. Okay. And this is going to cause the upper body to uh, rotate so your chest faces outside. So slip and slide, you want to rotate your upper body so the chest faces to the outside. Right, to do that, you want to pull back the outside shoulder. All right. Now, to pull back the outside shoulder, you can do a number of things. You can pull back the outside arm, or you can pull back the outside elbow. Now, typically, you do this at the lower speeds, pull back the whole arm. You know, this is done mostly in giant slalom. All right. Uh, Pulling back the outside elbow is done often in the speed, more in the speed events. All right, downhill and super G, and you could do this while you're in a tuck. All right, so when you're in the tuck and your hands are touching in front of you, elbows in tight, well, just pull back the outside elbow. That's going to rotate your head and shoulders to the outside. That'll give you the counter rotation. That'll give you slip and slide. Now in slalom is a little bit different because slalom turns come so fast and furious, right? You don't have time to do much counter rotation, so it's best just to keep the chest locked downhill with your lower body rotating below you. Now, it's your lower body that creates the counter rotation, and it has the same effect. All right, you're gonna get slip and slide from that. Okay, now another thing you could do is this is more a visual guide on double pole gates. All right, so non slalom, you're talking giant slalom, super G, and downhill. All right, And one thing you can do is you can aim your shoulder blade at the gate as you approach it. All right. So it'll turn, it's almost like turning your back to the gate. All right. And that'll cause counter rotation in your upper body. All right. So now, before I want to talk about how you do slip and slide in greater detail and the benefits, which I'll talk about uh, down here. All right. I want to talk about some of the problems caused by the old school method of steering the chest to chase the skis. All right. They were making turns by driving the upper body to make that turn. And they skied two-footed. Right, there's a two-footed method, right? And it was very, it was horrible. It was very clunky. Uh, Today, by today's standard, it looks um, almost sad. Uh, Anyways, okay, so here's some of the problems. All right, in order to do this, steer the turn with your upper body, steer the chest to chase the ski tips. All right, you're gonna have to do a hot pivot turn to get your chest chasing your ski tips. All right, I'm gonna show a video. I'll splice it in. All right, now what that's gonna do is, um, it's going to cause, first of all, float time. When you hop in the air to pivot around, you're getting your upper body high, all right? And before you can start applying pressure, force application, all right, you got to wait for your upper body mass to fall back down. Now, what that does is you're wasting a lot of time when you could be applying force and distributing that force evenly, and you're going to concentrate force. It's going to be in a shorter amount of time in the turn, shorter portion of the turn. It's all concentrated there. If you concentrate force, you whether as pressure or as impulse, you increase the risk of exceeding the threshold of shear force to break ice bonds, and then you're going to throw snow. Both of these represent energy, the energy required to break the bonds and the energy to throw the snow. That's going to bleed energy from your speed, and you're going to ski slow, right? And if you watch the old videos, boy, they look clunky and slow, and it is kind of painful to watch for me, anyways. Oh, what did I just do? All right, now, so that's one thing. You got to do a hop, and then you got float time, you got air time, hang time, and then you come down. You're concentrating force then. But also, when you land, you're going to land with impulse, right? Impulse is a concentration of force and time. You're going to smack down hard, and you're going to break bonds, throw snow, and then what you're going to do is, because you're rotating your whole upper body, it's going to throw your tails around. It's going to require you to throw your tails around, and you're going to skid out your tails, and it's going to be like almost like a hockey check stop, where you throw them sideways, right? And you scrape your tails hard. That's going to break bond. It's going to bleed energy, slow you down. All right. Now, one thing I forgot here is I'm not going to really cover this in detail, but if you have too much float time, you're gonna start to turn late. If you start to turn late, that's going to lead to all sorts of, quote, tactical problems. All right. I mean, those what comes into consideration is gate set, terrain, at where the gates are set relative to terrain, like a drop off, you know. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that. All right. Okay, we said that old school method of steering around with your whole body, upper body included, so that your chest chases your ski tips, results in the two-footed method. All right, and one of the problems, there's many problems it causes, all these over here, but one of the problems is it requires that you do a hop pivot. I think they used to call that a stivot, a steer pivot, where you're steering with your upper body. And now this results in a number of problems. One is you're going to have too much float time. All right, your upper body is going to be too high, floating in the air, and you can't start applying force until it lands.
and that's going to result in concentration of force application in a short part of the turn. And then when you land, you're going to land with a big impact. It's concentrated in time. That's impulse. And then you're going to throw out your tails, and you're going to do a skid like a hockey stop, which is going to, all this is going to just break ice bonds, throw snow, and bleed energy, and you're going to ski slow. So let's take a look at a video that shows this. All right. Now it's going to start with one of the world's top skiers named Tessa Worley. And when I watch this video, I almost cringe. It's so bad. Okay, well, we'll just watch. So it's going to be a giant slalom, and then there's going to be a slalom skier, both World Cup, top of the world skiers. All right, so we'll watch this first, and I'll watch it in slow motion. Okay, we'll go back. Watch this real quickly. So let's see. She's coming out of the turn with her chest following her ski tips, and what that does is if there's any rebound energy, it throws you up in the air, right? Gets your upper body high, all right? So that gives you flow time. Now you can't start applying force, right, for the turn until your upper body falls back down. All right, you got to wait. Like you threw up a ball, and you got to wait for it to come back down. Then you can apply force. And what that does is all this time you can't apply force until you get way too far into the turn, and then you got to throw a hard turn, concentrating force, which increases the risk of exceeding the threshold of shear force, breaking ice bonds, throwing snow. Let's see. So she's up in the air. Look at how extended she is. Now she's starting to come down, and she's skidding out. You see her throw that outside arm around. She's throwing it around because the technique back then, and this is not too long ago. This is like 2009, right? 2008, 2009. Before I started teaching, this is wrong. She's throwing that arm around to steer her upper body. I think that's going to help the turn. And so now, because of that, her chest is chasing her ski tips, is actually even inside. And what that's causing is she's two-footing it, all right? When you're two-footing it, boot to boot, you can only get one boot down. She's skidding out. She's also skidding out the tail. She came down with impulse. Bam, she impacted, right? Broke ice bonds, throw snow. And let's see what she does throughout the rest of the turn here. So she's skidding out. Now she's outriggering. Her weight is now centered over her inside ski. It's pulling in. This is washing out, right? It's skidding. It's not bearing any weight. And look at all that snow being thrown. That's huge. That's a huge amount of snow thrown. All right. That's wasting energy, right? Bleeding energy. Again, she's going high. So she came out with her chest chasing her tips. Rebound throws her up. She gets high in the air, and she comes down with impulse. Bam. Right? It's like a check stop. It's a hockey stop. Instead of carving it all the way around, she's rotating in the air. Bam. Throwing out the tails. Throwing a lot of snow. Look at, her chest is chasing her ski tips. So she's two-footing it. And because she's two-footing it, she can't get that ski down, that boot down, and it washes out. She's now outriggering. She's got most of her weight centered over her inside ski. All right. This is washing out, just scraping, bleeding energy. Okay, and this is slalom, and watch how much up and down motion they get. And watch how they rotate their whole body around. Watch how they use their outside arm to steer. Pushing that outside arm in. Watch the body come rotating around. Watch how much they skid. Watch how much air time they get, hang time. Rotating the whole body around. Watch her go up and down. Up, back down. Up, back down. Wow, look at that. Let's look at that turn. All right, so right now her chest is chasing her ski tips. All right, and she doesn't change that. She rotates her whole upper body around. Look at her outside ski washout. It's holding no weight. Everything's loaded on the inside ski. That is not maximizing the distribution of force application. That's concentrating it on one ski. That's going to cause bonds to break, snow to throw. It's very inefficient. It's bleeding energy. It's slowing her down. And then she's got rebound energy in her skis, right? And because her chest is facing her ski tips, it throws her up in the air. She gets high. She floats. She can't start applying pressure in the turn until way over here. Boom, she hits. She lands hard, right? Okay. And she skids out here. If you know skiing technique, this is almost painful to watch. But this is how they're skiing not too long ago. All right. That's it for that video. So they're doing this hop pivot. They're getting flow time. They're landing with impulse, and they're washing out their tails. A lot of times they're losing edge on their outside ski with outriggering their skis. Okay.
Now, another problem with the old school method is you're going to 2-foot. So this is 2-foot, 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 right? When you're 2-footing, right, one thing is weight's going to be only on one ski, typically the inside ski, right? And that's going to concentrate force application. Remember we said the fundamental underlying principle, one of them is you want to maximize the distribution of force application so as to remain below the threshold of exceeding shear force to break ice bonds. You don't want to break those ice bonds, all right? So you want to spread out the force application to stay below that. Remember I drew the graph, right? I don't know if you remember. All right. Now, if you're on one ski, you're going to concentrate force application. You're going to increase the risk of bleeding energy, throwing snow, bleeding energy, and you're going to go slow. All right. Now, if you do the 2-footer method side by side, and if you don't have hip angulation, you're not going to get that outside foot down. So if you're doing a left turn, this is the inside foot, this is the outside foot. This is going to be up in the air because you're boot to boot. You can't get that foot down, all right? So you're going to be loading up weight on the inside edge of the inside ski without hip angulation, and you're going to get your upper body's going to be laid out, and then you're going to get rolled down and slide out because of the force vectors. All right, it's going to roll you down. I showed you that. Now I'm going to show you a video. So we'll take a brief pause.
All right, so we said that there's a number of problems that result from the old school method of trying to steer the chest so that it chases the ski tips, results in the 2-footer, feet side by side. And if you have 2-foot with no hip angulation, what's going to happen is one of two things. One thing is you can get layout of your upper body, and then it's going to lower your upper body center of mass, and that's going to destroy the lever arm to keep you upright, and then you're going to get rolled down and slide out. This is the video we're going to watch today, right now. The other thing that can happen is you can skid around a turn on the inside edge of the inside ski, right? You're lucky to stay up, but you're going to throw a lot of snow, and it'll be an inefficient turn. So let's see, roll down and slide out. I'll just run through a bunch, and I'll go back and do it in slow motion. That's Ted Ligety. I think this is either Ted Ligety or Bodie. I know it's an American. This is not, I forget who that is. That's another American. U.S. Skiing has a good site for videos. That's why I'm using a lot of Americans. All right, so we'll watch the whole thing, then we'll go back and comment on it. That's Michaela. That is, oh, that's who was that? Was that Michaela again? That's Michaela. This is 2020. She should not be making these mistakes. She went back to this old school technique for some reason, right? She almost inside ski blowout there. Now she's going to roll down and slide out, right? It's because she's not getting any counter rotation. Okay. So I'm going to freeze it. We'll go to Ted. Ted had a habit of really laying down to get high edge angle, but at the same time, he had a bad habit of raising his outside arm. Look at his outside arm, how high it is, right? That's killing his shoulder angle. His shoulder should be as level with the horizon as possible. Now, because of this, he's not getting hip angulation. He's got a straight line down here, right? That's lowering his upper body center mass, and he has no counter rotation. His chest is chasing his ski tip, so the combination of no counter rotation and no hip angulation, right? He's just going to load all his weight on the inside ski, right? And he's going to roll down and slide out. Oh, I think he hit his face on that gate. I cut it off. All right, so same thing again. That is actually pulling back the inside arm. You want to pull back the outside arm. Right now, his chest is chasing his ski tips, right? He's bullfighting, bullhorning it, right? But he pulls back the wrong arm. Oh, let's see here. Yeah. See, wrong arm going back. Okay. He skids out, goes off course, and he missed that gate. He should go around this gate. He misses it and goes this way. I forget who this, I think it's like Mark O'Sullivan or someone. It's another American. All right. So he has no counter rotation, both arms forward, chest chasing ski tips, right? When he raises his arm, right, it's going to kill all hip angulation, and he's going to roll down and slide out. Right there. See that? Right? His shoulders are almost vertical. They should be horizontal. If they're horizontal, that's going to lift his upper body. It's going to drive hip angulation. It's going to raise upper body center of mass, create the lever arm to keep his weight torqued onto the outside ski. But as it is, his weight's going to go to the inside edge of the inside ski. He's going to roll down. And he's going to slide out. And there he goes. I forget who this is, but they're doing the same thing. No counter rotation. Outside arm goes up. See that? That's going to kill the lever arm. And you're just going to roll down now. And he slides out. Okay, here's Lindsay. She does the same thing. Both arms going forward. Chest chasing her ski tips. High outside arm, right? She's going to load up that inside ski, inside edge of the inside ski. No lever arm to keep her rolled onto that outside ski, right? The inertia gravity vector is not going to roll her over. If she raised her body, it would, right? The centrifugal force vector is coming in this way, right? It actually, on the inside edge, it's mostly this way, right there, through that, right? Now, she's just going to roll down and slide out. Well, let's take it. This is in slow-mo here. All right, so that's what happens. She slid. Oh, then she got outside ski blow-off. When you load all your weight on the inside ski, you have very little weight on the outside ski. It flops around, bounces around. When it does that, it's almost like a vicious cycle. It starts bouncing around harder. The more it bounces harder back and forth, until it blows off. Blows off her foot. Okay, so this is Michaela. She's doing it. No counter rotation, both arms forward, chest chasing her ski tips. She doesn't have enough hip angulation, so she's going to slide out. See her lean in right there? Right? Let's see here. I can't see where her arm is. Her arm's forward though. Her outside arm is forward. Her chest is chasing her ski tips. Right? She has no counter rotation. No. Well, she got a little slip and slide, but she's even still because her chest is chasing her ski tips. She's really two-footing it. And she goes down, slides out. That's Michaela also. Yeah, this is Michaela also. Chest chasing. See her chest is chasing her ski tips. All right. She doesn't have hip angulation, so she's going to slide out. Now, this is 2020. Let's see here. I think I have this expanded. All right. So here she is coming in toward the gate. Right. She's going to two-foot it. Right. Both arms forward. All right. So now what happens is, in this case, she's getting some hip angulation right there. When you get some hip angulation, this is getting ahead. This is the next era. When you have hip angulation but no counter rotation, her chest is chasing her skis. That causes you to outrigger. The two-footing is an outrigger. And you see how all her most of her mass is centered over her inside ski. You load that up. This loses any edge grip, and you can't weight it this way. You know, your foot doesn't weigh that much, right? So this is going to lose grip. It's going to slide out, and if you have too much weight on this ski, if the tip grabs, it'll pull you around and give you inside ski blowout. She almost gets this. Watch. Boom. It almost threw her. Now, in this case, she's going to have no counter rotation, chest chasing ski tips. She's going to two-foot it, but she's not going to get hip angulation. She's going to lay it down. See how the outside arm went up there? It's a little high. You see that? That kills her shoulder level, and her upper body center mass drops. So she loses the lever arm to upright her, and she slides down. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense.
Okay. Now, the other thing that can happen if you have 2 foot and no hip angulation, and you manage to stay up, right? You could skid around the turn on the inside edge of the inside ski, throwing a lot of snow, all right? And the outside ski is going to bounce around, and you'll be lucky to stay up. You know, right? You'd be lucky not to roll down, and you'd be lucky for that ski not to blow off. That's outside ski blow off. All right. But anyways, you're gonna throw a lot of snow. You're gonna skid. It'll be a slow turn. All right, and you bleed a lot of energy. Ski slow. Break ice bonds, throw snow, bleed energy.
All right, so we said that if you use the old school method of using your outside arm to steer your chest around the turn to chase the ski tips, so your chest is facing your ski tips, you're going to ski two-footed, and then if you ski two-footed with no hip angulation, one of the things that can happen is you can skid around a turn and you're lucky to stay up and not roll down, but you're going to skid around on the inside edge, your inside ski, and we'll see a guy doing that. He does a pretty good job at this, but this is not proper technique. It's his worst turn. And what's interesting is a guy named Kilde. He's a Norwegian, and this is the only turn of the whole race which he used old school technique. The rest of the race he used my technique, pulling back the outside arm. So we'll watch. He throws in a token turn here. It's just one turn. And we'll watch what happens here. So he's going in with bull horns, and then he pushes it forward. Look at him steer his chest in. Right? See him wash out there. All right. So let's see. I'll play this in slow motion. I'll manually control this. So he's coming into the turn. All right. Not bad so far. All right. Leading in a little bit high outside arm. That outside arm's a little bit high. All right. He should try to get his shoulders more level. All right. But it's not bad. What's going on here? Okay. Now, let's see. So he's starting to push that outside arm forward. And watch, he's gonna 2-foot it, and he's not gonna get weight in his outside ski. His outside ski is gonna bounce around, flop around. It's not bad enough to blow off, but watch, he's gonna lose it. Right there, he's losing it. He's starting to roll down. All right, he's loading up his inside ski, and he's starting to lose his outside ski. There, see that? He just lost it. And then it bounces around, it flops around. He's skiing on only one ski. He's not maximizing the distribution. What's going on here? How come I'll just play it. So watch, he's going to push that arm forward. Right there. He's steering his up, and then he loses that ski because of it. He 2-foots it. Watch it, see it flop around, bounce around. Right? He doesn't get it back until he's still on an inside ski. He scraped around that turn through a lot of snow. Let's see it again. All right, going in. Push it arm forward. Chest coming around. Right? He's 2-footing it. Loses grip. Look at that ski bounce around. It's carrying no weight. He's loading up all his weight in the inside ski. It's scraping, throwing snow. All right. Okay. That's this year. Right? Still making that mistake. Almost as if he did it like intentionally to throw in one bad turn. One old school turn.
Okay, now if you do the 2-foot method with hip angulation, so if you angle the hip, what's going to happen is your body's going to be centered, lined up on top of that inside ski. Your outside ski is going to be shot out like an outrigger, so you're going to do like a split almost, all right? But your inside ski is going to be crunched up beneath your chest, all right? And that's the outrigger. Now, what can happen is if you load up too much weight on the inside ski, and if the inside ski tip grips, that's going to rip you around violently. It's going to smash your knee up into your chin, and it's going to toss you in a 360 around. Okay.
All right, so we're talking about errors of old school method of using the outside arm to steer around the upper body so that the chest chases your ski tips. They would steer the upper body around a turn. That results in a 2-footed method, 2 feet side by side. And if you do this with hip angulation, what's going to happen is it's going to cause your skis to outrigger, where one ski is going to be under your body and the outside ski is going to be way out to the side. All right, and then one of two things can happen. You either get inside ski blow up or outside ski blow off. We'll see that. Okay, so let's take a look at the video. This is a guy named Palander, I think his name is, right? You see how he's that's a blow up. So his inside ski grabbed, blew him around, and then he's wiping out here. Well, let's tell you what. I'll just play it. Oh, goodness sakes. All right. It's breaking up here. I'll play the whole thing, and then I'll go back and give you a discussion of it, what's going on. This is Lindsey Vonn. All right, so he has inside ski blow up. See how it whipped her around, pulled that inside ski. threw her on her back, threw her around. All right. I think this is Ted Ligety. He gets one like Michaela I showed you. It just blew up a little bit, threw him off, but not so bad. He probably had the worst inside ski blow. Here's Ted Ligety again, right? Inside ski blow up. He probably had the worst I've seen, but it was deleted from the U.S. Ski whatever association. This is nostalgia. No one she gets whacked in the chin by her knee, right? And she gets tossed around. Again, inside ski blow up. I'll explain this when we go through it in slow motion. I mean, this is slow motion, but that's Michaela, right? So let's go back. Okay, Powder. Here, slow motion. So he's going into the turn. Now, watch his outside arm and shoulder, and then watch his chest, chasing his ski tips. No counter rotation. Both arms forward, going into the turn, chest chasing ski tips. All right. Now he gets hip angulation. See the hip angulation there? Right? What that causes an outrigger where he loads up most of his weight on the inside ski. This leg is spread way up because he's two-footing it, all right? And it's carrying no weight. It can't like chop down and hold weight. There's no weight to hold it down, all right? So all weight's loaded on the inside ski. Let's see this bit by bit. All right, so that's holding the weight. All the weight is loaded right there on that ski. And if the tip grips, it's going to rip him around. His knee's going to come up. Almost slammed him in the chin. He was lucky, but it's going to toss him. He's going to do a spin here. It's almost like figure skating here. All right. So let's take a look at Lindsay. I think that's, oh no, that's the slow motion. So she's coming in here. Again, look at both arms coming in, chest chasing the tips, no counter rotation. All right. And that's going to cause her to 2 foot. And she gets hip angulation. Look at the hip angulation. That's proper. But without any counter rotation, she's going to 2 foot. And she thus gets this outrigger. Her weight's going to be loaded on this ski. This ski's going to bear no weight. All right, with all weight on this ski, when that tip grips, it's going to rip her around. See it pull her around, and then it tosses her. I blew it up so it looks grainy. This is Ted Ligety leaning in. Again, look at his chest is chasing his ski tips, right? He's outriggering. You can't see that there, but his leg's going out over here. This ski is loaded up under his body, and it doesn't quite toss him all the way around, but it tosses him a little bit. What's going on there? See it pulling there? I'm having trouble getting this going incrementally. Keeps the ski this time. Oh, here. This is a slow motion. So he's getting a little hip angulation here. Not that much, but he's getting enough. He's no counter rotation. Chest chasing ski tips. So he's 2-footing it. This leg is actually going out. Somewhere out here. And then that ski grips, tip pulls him around, but it's not that bad. He recovers. But he is off the course and out of the race. So this one he does wipe out. Again, chest chasing ski tips. He's going to outrigger. And the inside ski grips, blows off. Do I got this in slow motion? No. That's about as slow-mo as I'm going to get. Inside ski grips. Well, let's just watch it. Inside ski blow up. All right, here's Nastasia Nolan. This is slow motion. So look at her outside arm. It's steering her body around, right? It should be back. Her chest should be pointed out. Now, her chest is chasing her ski tip. It's going to cause her 2 foot. And let's see. See, she's got good hip angulation. That's good. That's proper. But she's 2-footing it, right? Now, her inside ski is going to take all the weight. It's going to grip right here. You see that tip starting to grip, right? All her weight's on this. And it's going to pull her around. And her knee, I think it whacked her chin. Whoa, it went to the side of her face. See how far up it is? There's a lot of forces there. It throws your knee way up there. And then it dumps her. All right, here's Michaela. I'll wait for the last clip. I think I have 3 of this. Inside ski blow up. See that? All right. So here's a close up. She's coming towards it. Her arm is steering her upper body around. Her chest is chasing her ski tips. She has no counter rotation. She's 2-footing it side by side. She has plenty of hip angulation there. All right, that's going to load up all the weight on the inside ski. With all the weight loaded up, if the tip grips, it's going to blow up. There. Now she's outriggering. See that? There's no weight on that ski. You can't chop it down and carry weight, right? All her weight is loaded up on this ski. And the knee's coming up almost to her chin, somewhat similar to Nastasia Nolan's. And it tosses her. All right, so that is inside ski blow up. Result of no counter rotation, but you do get hip angulation.
Now, another thing can happen is when you're doing the outrigger and you don't have weight loaded on the outside ski. Well, that outside ski is going to flop around because it's not loaded up. It's going to bounce around violently, and when it whacks hard, it can. There's enough impulse there to exceed the binding tension, and the binding is going to release, and the ski is going to fly off, and then you're going to crash because you're on one ski. Or if you're Bodie Miller, right, you'll be able to save it and ski on one ski, right? All right.
All right, so again, we're talking about errors of the old school method of using the outside arm to steer the upper body around a turn so that the chest chases the ski tips, right? And you 2-foot it. Now, the effect here is outside ski blow off when you don't have enough weight held by that outside ski. And I'll show you some videos. I believe this is Bodie Miller. Coming around, it blows off. You'll see it better. And let's jump ahead. Okay, there it goes. So let's watch that in slow motion. See what's going on. First of all, his outside arm is way too high. All right, that's killing his hip angulation. He's straight down like this, straight body, no angulation. All right, that's going to load up his inside ski. He's going to lose the lever arm. All right, his upper body center mass is way too low. All right. Now he has no counter rotation. His chest is chasing his ski tips, and already it's so. What's happening is that ski, it's taking no weight. All his weight's loaded here, and that's just bouncing around. When it bounces around violently, it blows off. Boom! There it goes. Okay. This is Lindsay coming around. Again, look at her body. Arm up high, too high. Chest chasing ski tips, no counter rotation. She's 2-footing it. She's going to load up all her weight here. This ski is going to be too light. It's going to flop and bounce around and then blow off. I think you get a better view here. Okay, yeah. Slow motion. Arm high, chest chasing ski tips, 2-footing it. All right. That ski's bouncing around hard. Boom, it's gone. All right, okay. I think it's off already. Yeah. All right, let's see. Is there another one here? Oh, this is Lindsey Vaughn again. I showed you this one for leaning in. See that ski bouncing around? And it just popped off. She's got no weight on it. This is actually no hip angulation. I should have put it there. All right. But it's outside ski blow off. Boom, boom, boom. Bounce around. Bounce around. Bam! Now it's gone. Okay. I want to stop this.
Now, next thing is if your chest is chasing your ski tips and you have rebound energy stored in your skis, rebound energy is as you go into the turn, you're leaning forward against the boot tongues, right? It's going to flex the tip and shovel of the ski, all right? That's going to store energy like a spring. That's potential energy. And as you progressively shift your weight from forward slowly to back, that's going to roll the flex from the tips through the waist, then back to the tails, and it's going to release that energy like a springboard, tossing you out, right? Now, if your chest is chasing your ski tips, that's going to toss you one. It can toss you up in the air, right? And that's going to give you upper body float time, right? And then you're going to concentrate force application because you're wasting all this time hanging in the air. You can't start applying force until your upper body comes back down, all right? And then you're going to land with impulse, and that's going to bleed energy too. So this is going to cause a bleeding of energy, and this is going to cause a bleeding of energy. And plus, you're going to throw out your tails, all right, and skin. Now, the other thing that can happen, I'm going to show you videos on this and this, all right? The other thing that can happen is if your chest is aligned with your ski tips, right? When you get that rebound energy, it's going to just flip you up on your back, right? If you get a lot of rebound energy, it's just going to flip you on your back and you're going to crash, right? It's just a backflip.
All right, so this is another error caused by the old school method of steering around with your upper body so that your chest chases your ski tips. All right, and we're over here now. Chest chases your ski tips. And if you have rebound energy stored in your skis, when it's released out the tails, typically what happens is you're tossed up in the air. You have upper body float time. All right, and because of that, you got to wait and delay to apply force, and it's going to concentrate it, increasing your breaking of ice bonds and throwing snow, which is waste energy, slowing you down. Also, you're going to land with impulse. You're going to pound in that snow. Again, bleeding more energy. But in this video, we're gonna watch a a more rare thing, but it happens where if you come out with your chest chasing your ski tips and you have a lot of rebound energy, it's going to flip you on your back. All right. So we'll just watch some video here. That's an American. I'm not sure who that is. All right. So I paused it. So his chest is in line with the ski tips. He's going to get a lot of rebound energy out of his rut. And it's going to, instead of throwing his legs laterally, if he had counter rotation, it would throw his legs laterally. And I'll show you that in a second here. But in this case, it throws him up and dumps him. All right. That's American Rob Kelly. Same thing. He's coming around. His chest is chasing his ski tips. When it hits, the rebound energy is released. It tosses him in the air. This is Orizi Stiegler, and she doesn't get tossed, but she almost misses a gate, but she makes a good recovery. There she gets tossed, right? Let's see here. Is that a slow motion? Yeah, okay, right. So you'll see her chest. She's steering around her upper body. It's not, in slalom, you should have your chest locked downhill. So when this is rotated in, your upper body's still facing downhill. But she steered around her upper body. So her chest is facing her ski tips. When that's released, instead of the legs being thrown out laterally, they're shot forward in front of her, and it flips her in the air. But she makes a good recovery, all out of bounds, but it's a Bodie Miller type recovery. But it slows her down. Here's Ted Ligety. He gets tossed a little bit, goes off course. Let's see here. Which one is this? Is this turn? Okay. So his chest is coming around. His chest is chasing his ski tips right here, right? Now he throws his arm back, right? But it's too late. His chest is still chasing the ski tips, and when he gets rebound energy, boom, it tosses him. This is Michaela. Do I have this? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'll play this. And I'll show the slow motion. Oh, she's tossed already. Okay, well, I'll just show the slow motion. So it tossed her. So she missed. She was too late in the gate. Remember, I told you you're going to concentrate your turns. So she comes around. You see how she's rotating her whole upper body around. It's in line with her ski tips. All right. And when she gets rebound out of her skis, boom, it tosses her in the air. She goes past the gate, right? She's landing after the gate. I mean, you got to stay on contact with the snow all the way around. But she's tossed up, lands after the gate, hits with impact, right? Misses the turn, and then she had to stop and recover. Let's see what goes on. There's Michaela again. What happened there? Oh, okay. This is the same race, and it shows how she's rotating her whole upper body around. She's not locking it down. Now, this is a recent race, the last women's slalom race, where this girl got her chest in line a little bit. I really like her technique. She's coming on strong, this girl. Sweet girl. And her technique is really refining. She's going to be pushing for wins here pretty soon. She's having a little trouble, you know. But she made a mistake there. She's gonna be good, this girl. She's been around for a while, but she's getting her technique finally going. All right, so what happened is, let's see, she comes around, and her chest is too close to her ski tips. When you get the rebound energy, it throws you up and out like this. Instead of, it doesn't matter the rut. If there's rut, no rut. If you have counter rotation, it's going to throw your legs laterally across, not up like this. And because of this, she misses the next gate and slams into it and crashes. Boom. All right. She was winning this race. She was way up. I think she was like a second, 1.2 seconds up with only 2 gates left, and she dumped it. Too bad, because she was skiing so well. She made a couple mistakes earlier than this. If you look at the full tape, she started losing counter rotation on a couple turns earlier. She was getting sloppy, and she paid for it in this one. Looked like it hurt, but these girls are tough. All right, so here's Bodie. 1 turn, 2 turns, boom! Yeah, we'll take a look at that in slow motion. All right, so he's turning his whole upper body around. You got to keep that chest locked downhill, right? He's steering in. This is old school method he's still using. I think this was around 2013, 14 or even, or maybe 12, right? This is long after I've been teaching this. People still making mistakes. So he's got his upper body turned. I mean, it's even inside his ski tip. Well, it's about even with the ski tips, right? Now, when he gets the rebound out of the tails, it's going to toss him in the air. Boom. Flips him around. Okay. Who is it? Oh, this is modern technique. This is the last slalom race. I just took a brief clip here. This is the winner of the race, Slovakian, Petra. And look at how her chest is locked downhill. All right. And look at how her lower body is rotating around that. That's modern technique. That's what I taught. That's what I skied back in 2005. Now look at how her lower body rotates, and look at when she gets rebound, it tosses it laterally. The rebound throws it across the hill, laterally transversing the hill. Watch her. I think her technique is the best on the World Cup circuit now. I really like her technique. And she just has to get her act together as far as winning these races. But with her technique, she's gonna come on strong here. But watch, her chest is always locked downhill, her lower body rotating around it. When you get rebound, it throws it laterally across the hill. And then watch how the rotation of the skis coming around is part of the carved arc. All right, so we'll watch that in slow motion. Okay. Rebound, throwing it laterally across the hill. See that? Sideways, not forward and up, right? Because you have counter rotation. And then watch the rotation as your skis rotating around. The hip rotation, the counter rotation creates torque, which rotates your ski the other way. It makes the transition more rapid, but it's integral to the turn. She's carving already, and it's coming around. That's modern technique. All right, not this hopping up and down. Look at how her upper body stays almost level the whole time. Let's see, we've got this. I think I have some slow motion here. She's coming up and down a little bit. She's got to level that out a little bit more. She can work on that better. I think Sven Larsen is a little better as far as up and down motion. You want to keep that upper body locked, level, not going up and down. She's got a little up and down going that she can iron out a little bit and get faster. Look at her. That's just beautiful. She's barely moving that upper body up and down. That's gorgeous. Look at that. It's flat. I mean, that's like Marcel Hirscher type stuff there. All right. Did I cover enough? Yeah. All right. So.
All right. So now we're going to talk about the advantages of counter rotation and slip and slide. All right, what good are they? Right, and first we're going to talk about how to get it. We talked about that already, but we're going to talk about it in greater detail now. Then we're going to talk about the advantages. What type of good things does it do for you? All right. So first thing is, just do it. Just push. Just slip that inside ski forward and slide the outside ski back at the start of a turn. That's going to naturally rotate your upper body to the outside. All right. You can have your arms at a bullhorn there. It'll just rotate the whole thing to the outside. All right, now in slalom is pretty easy. Slalom is different from giant slalom and super G and downhill. All right, we have more time between turns. In slalom, the turns come so fast and so hot and heavy, so rapid that it's hard to create the kind of upper body counter rotation that's possible in GS, super G, and downhill. So for the most part, there's some exceptions with really big turns, right? But for the most part, to create counter rotation in slalom, simply keep your upper body locked, facing squarely downhill. Remember we said you want to keep your shoulders locked with the horizon, but also keep your keep your chest facing directly downhill. Then you rotate your lower body back and forth, right, around a stationary upper body. All right. So this rotation thus creates the counter rotation. It's a lower body that creates the counter rotation. I'm going to show you a video of that.
All right, we said that in slalom to generate counter rotation and slip and slide, you pretty much, for the most part, except for extremely wide turns, you want to keep your upper body locked straight downhill. You want your chest facing straight downhill. And your lower body is going to rotate back and forth below that. That creates the counter rotation. So we'll see the old school method. The old school method is they create no counter rotation. They have their upper body chasing their lower body. And in fact, they're trying to steer the turn with their upper body. So we'll see that. And we'll see the effects of it, which is clunky, slow, concentrating force application, skidding out, landing with impulse. Okay. Up in the air, coming out, skidding out, two-footing, outrigger, right? Float time, impulse, concentrated force application, skidding out. All right. Rotating the whole body. Look at her steer that whole body with that arm. Right? This is clunky and slow. Look at her skid out there. All right. Hitting with impulse. Okay. Skidding out. All right. Up in the air. Right. A lot of hang time. Bouncing around. Skidding again. All right. Skidding some more. Watch the whole body come around. All right. A lot of up and down motion. Look at her go up and down. Hit with impulse. All right. Okay, this is more modern. Now, this girl is getting a little bit of up and down motion. She can iron that out a little bit more. You'll see the next girl is better. Not bad. Look at it. She's keeping her chest locked downhill, though. Look at her hips rotate below. All right. When you get the rebound, it throws your legs laterally. All right. When you have counter rotation, that's what you want. You want the legs going from this side, lateral to that other side. See that? Now, if you had no hip rotation, you'd be throwing up in the air or on your back. Look at how she keeps her head level. No up and down motion. All right. Okay. That's it. That's pretty quick and dirty.
Okay. Now for GS, Super G, and downhill, you can pull back the outside shoulder to face the upper body to the outside of the turn. All right. Remember, if you're doing a right turn, your upper body wants to face the 10 o'clock. So if you're going like this, your upper body wants to face that way. right? If you're doing a left turn, if you're going this way, right, your upper body wants to face this way to the outside, all right? Then with that, if you bow at the waist, you're lifting your upper body towards the outside. And that's lifting the upper body center of mass to create that lever arm that will torque weight onto the outside ski and keep you upright. Remember, uh, especially in Super G and downhill, you want to evenly weight both skis as much as possible. But you don't want to. You want to make sure not to load up that inside ski, right? Because a lot of bad things can happen. We talked about up here. Now to pull back the outside shoulder, simply pull the outside arm back and low. Make sure you keep it low. Don't pull it back high because that's going to kill hip angulation. And then you're going to risk roll down and slide out. It's going to lay out your upper body, right? It's going to lower the upper body center of mass. And then you're going to lose the lever arm that keeps you upright. You're going to create a lever arm that rolls you down. So don't let that outside arm drop or don't let that outside arm fly high, right, when you pull it back. All right. Now, if you're in a downhill tuck, all right, and when you're in a tuck, you're crouched, and your body is trying to, your upper body is trying to go as horizontal as possible, to be as streamlined as possible. Your knees are flexed, and your hands are pressed together in front of your face. All right, elbows kind of tucked in. All right. Now it seems like a very restricted position, but you can still, in that position, pull back your outside arm, your outside elbow. All right. So your head and shoulders swivel to the outside. Now, if your head and shoulders swivel to the outside, all right, that's giving you counter rotation, and that's going to give you slip and slide. All right. Now, another thing you can do is you can point the plane of your inside shoulder blade at the gate. All right. So as you're approaching the gate, right, think of a board that's stretched across your back, right? Let's say you got a 2x4 that's nailed to your back, right? Well, the end of the 2x4 could be, think of that as pointing towards the gate, right? You see how that's turning your body to the outside, all right? And that's going to give you counter rotation, which will give you slip and slide, right? All right, caution when pulling the pulling the arm back. Don't allow back lean. All right. So when you pull it back, don't allow it to pull your whole body weight back. All right. Remember, going into turns generally, especially in giant slalom. All right. You want to try to capture energy in the tips of those skis. Now, in downhill and Super G, you're going so fast. If you look at skis in slow motion, you'll see them in a turn. Even in the most perfect turn, they're going so fast that even a little bit of rough terrain is going to bounce those skis around. They're going to flop, right? It's not going to hold a flex. If it doesn't hold a flex, it's not going to store energy. So there's no point in trying to store energy in the ski. It's best in Super G and downhill just to try to maximize the distribution of force application along the whole length of the ski, make it even, right? Okay. Now in GS and slalom, you can use energy storage roll and release, which I'm going to teach you coming up. All right. So I've covered this. So here's the advantages. All right. Now, one advantage of counter rotation and slip and slide is you maximize distribution of force application in a number of ways, right? One of the ways is you pull back the outside shoulder to face the upper body to the outside, right? Causing slip and slide, slipping the inside ski forward and the outside ski back. Now, one of the things that does is that pulls the skis closer together, and it clears out one boot from the other so they can be closer together and still contact the snow, right? So then you're maximizing the distribution of force application along both skis. If you're going 2 foot, right, you can have one ski contacting, the other being laid on top of the other, and you're not going to get it down, right? These then allow more equal force distribution across both skis, decreasing the risk of exceeding shear force for breaking ice bonds, throwing snow, and bleeding energy. Also, don't forget that you're not going to do the hop pivot, right? If you do the hop pivot, when you hop, you're going to be in the air. There's going to be too much hang time, right? And you can't apply force application until your upper body falls down. Also, what happens is, remember I said that if your chest is chasing your ski tips, and if you have rebound energy, it's going to throw you in the air. That's going to give you that air time too. That's a big reason why you're hanging in the air. All right. Anyways, you want to keep your upper body center of mass always low to the snow. All right. Which means as you're laid out to one side in the turn and in transition, as your skis are coming across in front of your body, you want to lift your knees. I used to let my knees smash into my chest. All right. I'd stay so low that I allow my knees to smash into my chest. They come across so fast. There'd be a violent like collision between my knees and my chest, throwing my head forward. But anyways, you want to keep your upper body always low, and then as soon as your legs cross the other side, you can shoot them out and start applying force application right away. All right. Now, if you let your upper body mass rise in the air, it's going to float, and just like throwing a ball in the air, you can't catch it and contact it until it falls back down. Right? You can't contact the snow until that upper body mass falls back down. Right? Just simple, Newton's apple thing. All right, controlling rebound energy. So now in GS and slalom, you can store energy in the skis. You're not going so fast that the skis are flopping around, chattering. You know, you can maintain the flex in the ski throughout the turn, through the carved turn. All right. Now, if you store energy in the tips going into the turn, you're flexing that ski. It's giving you a nice carve. It's giving you the arc. And then as you progressively shift your way towards the back, I'll teach you how to do that without losing control and losing balance. All right. Then when the energy releases out the tails, it's going to shoot you. Now, if your chest is chasing your ski tips, that's going to either throw you up in the air where you get hang time, or it's going to flip you on your back, even worse. Right? I showed you some videos up there of that happening. All right. Now, if you have counter rotation, the rebound energy will throw your legs laterally across the hill, which actually facilitates transition to the next turn. Well, that's what you want. You want to be laid out on one side, legs laid out on one side, upper body as upright as possible. When you come through the turn, right, you pull up your knees and then shoot your legs out to the other side. All right. And if you have counter rotation, the rebound energy is thrown laterally. Okay. I'll show part of this video again, right? I'll emphasize this in this video. All right. Another thing is it'll facilitate ski rotation during turn transition. So this rebound energy facilitates turn transition. But another thing is, especially in, for example, slalom, where well, in all events, but especially slalom, where your upper body is locked with your chest facing directly downhill and your lower body is rotating around that. Well, when you rotate it to one side, it's similar. It's similar to hip angulation, where you're creating like a spring tension. Now, hip angulation is more like a fishing rod, a fiberglass fishing rod being bent to one side and flipping back to the other side when you let go, or like a branch, like a flexible branch, right? And you bend it, it whips back the other side. But in the case of counter torque, it's more like a coil spring. So if you try to twist that coil spring, it wants to snap back the other way, right? And this is going to facilitate rotation of the skis, which is going to help transition to the next turn, right? It's going to speed the transition to the next turn. Now, I say it's a concept very similar to a baseball bat swing, all right? For example, when a batter is facing the pitcher, all right, as the pitcher begins his throw, the batter will always lift the forward foot, right, and turn in the hip. right? Rotating the hip. Now that's going to create counter tension. And when that foot comes down and plants, right, that helps whip around the hip to the other side, opening the hips to face the pitcher. Now, the key advantage there, you have to have that in batting. Otherwise, you're just using all arm strength to whip that bat around. But if you open up your hips first before your arms and bat come around, then you're not just using your arm muscles, you're using the big back and chest muscles. Plus, you're getting your legs planted there, right? But the key thing is your back and chest muscles are coming into play, and you have much more power with the combined back, chest, and arm muscles instead of just arm muscles alone. All right, so that's the idea, right? You're creating counter rotation in your hip. With counter rotation, ski rotation will be part of the carve turn, and not the hop, pivot, tail skid. All right, like in the hop pivot. All right, you'll see. I'll show you this again, maybe. Right, how really when your hips are rotating around, it's integral to the carve turn. All right, it's clean, it's slicing, it's railing, it's not skidding. All right, now raising the upper body center of mass is another advantage. So to create the new lever arm that throws weight onto the outside ski. All right, we talked about this earlier. Now for Super G and downhill, with the upper body rotated to the 10 or 2 o'clock position, right? And that means your body is facing more to the outside. It's not quite at 3 and 9 o'clock, but it's close, right? If you bow at your waist, right, you'll jackknife your body, all right, at the waist, and that'll lift your upper body center of mass, and that will create the lever arm, the gravity inertia force vector versus centripetal force, right, in opposition, right, that'll right your body. It'll throw your weight onto your outside ski. Now for GS and slalom, you're going to load up, slip and slide, right, pressure your butt cheek to the snow. That's going to create hip angulation, all right. That hip angulation is also, right, bowing, it's jackknifing, right, but that's going to create the lever arm that keeps you upright. Also remember to keep your shoulders locked on the horizon as much as possible, right? And as you're transitioning, lift your legs over the hump, then shoot them out to the other side, all right? And with your body up, with your upper body upright, and your legs laid out to the other side, that's going to create hip angulation, and that's going to create that lever arm. Okay, that's it for that video. So briefly, what we've discussed here. We talked about how counter rotation and slip and slide go hand in hand because they cause each other. They're mutually reinforcing. And slip and slide is sliding the inside ski forward, sliding the outside ski back. It's going to pull them closer together, right? Allow you to weight both skis more evenly. And it's going to allow you to rail turns, right? With that even distribution, right? You're not going to be skidding around a turn. You're going to rail, you're going to knife through turns. It'll be clean carved arcs, a lot less energy loss, right? So to do that, we said, simply slide it forward, inside forward, slide the outside back. And keys are rotate your upper body to face the outside. That requires pulling back the outside shoulder, right? And here's our ways of doing it, all right? We talked about problems of the old school method. I showed you a bunch of videos. I'm not going to review that all. And then we went into more detail of how to create slip and slide for the different events here, the different disciplines, all right, and then the advantages. All right, that's it.